Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. What's up, Prophet? What's up, Buckeye Bob? What's up, Steve? Good to see you, Campbell. Man, I'm feeling good going into this week. We picked the Lions game. Listen, I said on the video on Tuesday, I said the Lions are a borderline money pick. If it wasn't Thursday night, I would be betting them. I'm happy to see a lot of you guys bet that game, and you were rewarded handsomely. So always good to start the week off. And whenever you get a Thursday night game like that, it kind of just reinforces everything we've been doing. I don't know how long you at home have been watching the show, but we started this Lions bandwagon, and I thought we might have some issues with their spreads this year. But overall, nothing's really changed. We have that big win against Atlanta last week, and people are still sleeping on the Detroit Lions, and we will keep eating until we have to adjust. So credit to you guys. Great to get that going into the weekend. I mean, this weekend, I'm excited about it. I am very excited about it. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk lots of Miami Bills today. I'm sure that's on the cusp of a lot of your guys' mouths. I'm excited for the Browns Ravens. I mean, Patriots plus 6.5, plus 7 at the Cowboys is another interesting one. There's a lot of good games this week, so looking forward to it, looking to getting into nitty-gritty with you. What's up, Pedro? What's up, Prestige? Good to see you, man. Always good to see you guys. Yeah, man, I might as well just start with a Patreon question while people are getting in here. Shout out to the Patreon users. Always good to see you guys on there. Okay, let's get to the first question. Okay, Charles Kaiser, 2-team teaser, 6 points cash 2 weeks in a row. What are we cooking this week? I think there will be 2, Charles. Thank you for pointing that out. I mean, listen, we've always been thinking about 6-point teasers, but this year we are making it a staple. I don't like parlays, but some of you guys like the rush, and I think this is the best compromise we can meet right in the middle, because you do 2 16 teasers, that comes out minus 110, minus 115, and then we're cooking like it's a normal bet. And I feel like when the way we're analyzing the teasers, I think we're getting a good ad balance. Firstly, teasers are about math. We need to pass key numbers. We need to be smart. I'm not saying you need to be some like accounting geek and you put on the stats and say, oh, he 62% of the time this happens. No, I'm not saying anything like that, but we do need to use our mathematical brain, and then we also have to use our football knowledge. Yeah, man, so 2-0. I'm thinking about putting 2 up this week, because if you look at the spreads and if you look at some of the numbers that are coming up, like Bucks 3.5, you add 6 to that. Rams +1, you add 6 to that. Fins +3, you add 6 to that. Giants +1.5, you add 6 to that. Bears +3.5. I don't think I'll have the cojones to do that. But those are perfect examples of things we can exploit. The only problem with the Rams one is it's not 1.5 anymore. It's at 1. But we're going to cook, Charles. I'll have them up tonight. Andy Gibbs, Lions treating me well. Yeah, man. I mean, they've been rubbing our belly since last year. Remember when they were 1-6 and everyone was saying we're insane, we have psychosis because we were making money betting them? Their spread record was phenomenal this year, and it doesn't seem like it's going away. I mean, on Patreon last week, I said the biggest bet, the one I like the most, is Lions -3. And I think some of you guys were a little bit shocked why I was so flamboyant, why I was so confident thinking Dolphins this week. There's 2 teams in this league I trust. 2 teams, and I'm talking from a value perspective. I'm talking a spread perspective. Those two teams are the Miami Dolphins and the Detroit Lions. Both were good for us last year, and I believe both will continue to be good for us. And at a certain point, when you're early in the NFL season, it's volatile, it's fuck. The crocodiles are swimming around smelling blood. There's something about trusting a team, and I know that doesn't equal science or film, but I trust those two teams, and I feel like they're two very well coached teams. And whenever you have that going for you, you got a puncher's chance. Yeah, Pedro, I think this week is going to be nasty, man. I think it's going to be nasty. I'll take one from YouTube. This is Go For Daywin. Yo, Lawson, how you feel about the Steelers-Texans game? I feel like the Texans are up and coming, but this is the toughest defense Stroud will have played against and the most experienced coaching. Yeah, but this is more, and Texans were also a team I was thinking about teasing. Listen, last week, 82% of the bets were on the Jags to cover that game. Only 18% were on the Texans to cover that game. We thought the Texans would cover. Did I think the Texans would win? No, but I got to be honest. I thought like the Texans would be competitive. When I'm looking at this game, man, I think this is the trap of the week. I think Vegas is setting a trap. And I know some people said, Lawson, are you crazy? Are you trying to be hipster? When I picked the Texans to win in the cover, but I wanted to add that extra emphasis, that extra oomph for you guys to stay away from it. This smells like Steelers plus 2.5 at home against the 49ers. No, I am not comparing the Steelers to the 40. I am not comparing the Texans to the 49ers. But, you know, I think the Steelers would be the most backed team this weekend, and I simply think it's a mistake. Now, when I look at this game, I think it comes down to who runs the ball better. We haven't seen much of Najee Harris running well. I don't necessarily trust the Steelers' offensive line, and we haven't seen the Texans run the ball at a high enough level this year, but I think there's some gaps you can get. I think you can pound the Steelers. The Raiders didn't do it, so that proved me wrong. But I think the Texans can run it, and I think this Texans defense is getting healthy at the right time. I am a little bit worried. No Tunsil for the Texans at left tackle. That's going to be a blow, but I think this is a gritty, nasty football game, and I just want people to stay away from the Steelers. If you take anything from this analysis, take that. I think it is a trap, and I think it's been set. Okay, let's get to Patreon. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Gus says, yeah, boy. Cheeky Dubs. Any favorite player props to straight bet? Like to have a few player props in with my spreads and over-unders. I did see this comment earlier, and this isn't going to be a sexy one. I mean, people aren't going to be like, damn, Lawson, this is awesome. But I like the Joshua Palmer over 43.5 receiving yards. I think it might have moved up to 45.5. But either way, I see really, really good value with that one. And, you know, let's get into it. The Raiders can't cover anyone. Max Crosby is dinged up, so we don't know how good that Raiders pass rush is going to be. And Justin Herbert's been throwing the ball 40 to 50 fucking times a game since Eckler has been out. So I think Palmer with that 43.5, 45.5, whatever your book has it at, is the player prop of the week. I know it sounds a little bit hipster, like the Robert Woods one I gave, but this one I truly believe is money. I will come back to your post later on Patreon if I think of something else. But that was the most lopsided one I was seeing. What's up, RG? What's up, Buckeye Bob? Do you think the Cardinals have any shot to cover the spread? Yeah, because this isn't college football, and I think people need to understand that. And points actually matter. And You know, there's some people who's just made a living for their family, just taking plus nines, plus tens, plus 7.5. Some people just bet those. I mean, you don't hear about them. They certainly aren't popular people, but those guys lie in the crevices and they understand the value of points. I do wonder. I do wonder if the Cardinals get slammed, body slammed down to reality in this game. You always have to worry about that. But 14 is a hell of a lot in this league. And that's why some of you guys who bet college, I feel like it interferes with your mind in a way, because in college, the points just don't fucking matter at this point. In the NFL, 14 points is a ton. And like I said, I think I did a video early this week where I mentioned the history of Shanahan with the 49ers covering these big spreads. And a lot of times he'll do some crazy stuff at the end of the games. He'll be on the 1 yard line against the Chargers. You need the touchdown to cover the 6.5. He'll just kick the field goal, and he actually gave the Chargers a chance to win the game. Didn't want to go on a rant, but it's just too much, man. It's too much. And then teasing the 49ers down isn't all that attractive either, even though it will probably hit. Next question. Leno Frosto, yo, Lawson, my degenerate play on the Lions hit, my guy. Listen, I'm going balls out on Denver this week against my Bears. I'd be cautious about that. Are you talking spread or money line? Send me and Dicko a shout out on the show, and please add a fave play on Patreon. I felt like I did that last week with the Lions against the Falcons, but I will do it again. I said that's the one I like the most. I'll keep doing it. I know a lot of you guys pounded the Lions against the Falcons. That's about as stress-free as a big bet gets. Okay, I'll listen. Can you belt out money for all of us riding with you? Thanks, my guy. Money. Shout out Dicko. Shout out Leno. Yeah, man. The Lions have been good for our families. They've been good for our families, man. And I love that beautiful man, Dan Campbell. I love how people doubt him because he has that meathead exterior. He doesn't talk like he's a pencil pusher. Man, I love Dan Campbell. Nothing better than getting some Dan Campbell. I'll take this one. Marcus Springfield, Lawson. Who should I take off this teaser? Saints +2, Panthers +9, Rams +6, Cowboys -1. Take off the Saints. No. Okay. I got to think about this because the Panthers have been a weird team. Listen, I think that Bucs-Saints game is a field goal game. I mean, I was kind of surprised when the Bucs got up to +3.5 today. Okay, leave the Saints, leave the Rams, leave them boys. The Panthers, that game does have a little bit of blowout potential. If Andy Dalton was playing this game, I would say yeah. But I'm not too sold on Bryce Young. And you guys know, I've been hyping up these rookie quarterbacks. The only one I'm really worried about at this point in time is Bryce Young, and they're not getting enough separation. And the Vikings, listen, I know I picked the Chargers last week, but the Vikings should have won that game. My Vikings should have won that game. Yeah, man. Anyone betting Bears and Broncos like Leno? I'm curious, man. River Rat, Lawson, Mr. Lawson, you're the most knowledgeable football personality I have ever seen on the internet. I love your show. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I try to watch as much football as possible. You won't hear me saying stuff like Teddy Bridgewater has covered 14-2 out of his Sunday games at 1:00. You're not going to be hearing me say bullshit like that. So I try to actually talk ball and try to talk stuff that matters. Okay, Michael Rodriguez, Lawson. No one seems to like the Panthers on Sunday. Is it out of the realm of possibility that they cover +4? Yeah. Listen, I was thinking the same thing. Listen, I got a little bit of confidence in my Vikings, even though they're 0-3. I'm not saying the Vikings are going to do anything in the league, okay? But I do see the defense improving. But I am a little bit weirded out by this. I am a little bit weirded out by this because, listen, at 3.5, I liked it for the Vikings perspective. But 4.5, like we were seeing today, for me, it's just too much. And I guess it's just people fading Bryce Young and Frank Reich, which makes sense because when the Vikings go on a field, we know that's a top 5, top 7 offense if their offensive line is healthy. I do see what you're doing. And the computers, I'm not a big computer guy, but the computer generated spreads I look at, a lot of those have it at -2.5 for the Vikings. So, yeah, man. And I don't think the Panthers are all that bad, but some of the shit I saw in their game against the Seahawks was puzzling. Like, Mike, can I give you an example? Just erase everything that happened last week. Mike, if I told you Andy Dalton would have 360 passing yards on the road to the Seahawks, wouldn't you say the Panthers should have covered that +5.5, +6? You'd probably snap my hand off to get that bet in. So that's one thing that is so puzzling with this Panthers team. And they don't have any firepower. And their defense is getting banged up. I think the Vikings might actually even be able to run it on them, let alone throw it. I just think it's a stay away. It was like a money pick on Tuesday for the Vikings. But like you said, like we're starting to lose value now as the week goes on. Like I always say this, bet favorites early, dogs late. But this is really taking it to the next level. Okay. Let's get to Brian DePaul. What's up, Brian? Let's go, Brownies. Really pumped for this game. Defense and some crazy fans should make the difference in a divisional war. Watson's injury raised concern. What's your take on Coach Kevin Stefanski as a leader? Thanks, Money Man. Brian, firstly, there's a lot of talk about Kevin Stefanski last week. Have I always agreed with his coaching? No, absolutely not. But his game plan against the Titans was absolutely majestic, man. And we know the strength of the Titans. I said it before that game when I was on the island taking the Browns. The strength of that Titans defense is Jeff Simmons, their interior, their 5 technique, 3 technique. You just can't run it on them. D'Amico Autry and Simmons just they're unblockable against the run. So what do we see Stefanski do? He pumped that 40, 45, 50 times with Deshaun Watson, and he absolutely decapitated the Titans. I like the Browns still. I did get a little bit of concern. I got a lot of concern when I looked at, that Deshaun Watson situation today with the shoulder. I am concerned, but the spread – remember when we got it in early? We got that game in early. I'm still going Browns, man. I'm still going Browns. I'm not concerned about it. I think he'll play. He threw in practice Friday, and I think this Browns defense is the reason why. And I don't know how many Ravens games you guys have watched, but this Ravens team, like I told you, I wasn't buying into this monkey, new offensive coordinator, 4 or 5 wide receivers, all the shit they were saying to the media. I'm not buying into it, and I'm not exaggerating. I watched every single quarter of Ravens football this year. I think Lamar Jackson's fumbled the ball down there 6, 7, 8 times. I mean, he fumbled 2 times, and they took the turnover away from the Bengals for the illegal contact. So I don't like the way the Ravens are looking right now. Zay Flowers looks phenomenal, but I don't think they run the ball. I think Lamar gets hit, and I think Browns win the turnover battle. Mike Bratt, I only took the Lions when they were +1.5. Yeah, man, that's good. I can't remember what it was when I picked it Tuesday. I can't remember. Prestige. Last week I said you'd bounce back, and that record you have after a losing week is unstoppable. Good job. Thank you, Prestige. And thank you for your input on Patreon, man. Very, very smart guy. As we approach week 4 and the rest of the season, the sureness of each bet becomes clearer and clearer. I kind of agree. How do you adjust your betting as we get into week 4 and beyond? Well, I'm trying to build the teams we trust. And those of you on Patreon, you guys get the vibe that 2 teams I trusted with value in the market are Miami and the Lions. I trusted them going into the season. I don't think I'll see anything that'll make me distrust them. Now, am I going to bet them every game? No. But I have no problem putting big money on their games. It's just about finding teams we can trust. And like I said last week, what we need to do is we need to be looking for that girl no one notices in high school. You know, everyone kind of just walked by her, but you see something in her. You see an attribute you can work with, and we need to find that girl. And then once she's on our arm, everyone starts saying how good looking she is, and where did you find her? That's what we need to do, and that's what I'll be doing. It's what we did with the Dolphins. It's what we did with the Lions. We did it with the Lions last year, and we're still getting pretty favorable spreads. Like, listen, I thought this Lions train wasn't going to be as fun just due to what they did last year against the spread. I mean, man, last year people are acting like we're fucking lunatics. For instance, like when I picked the Lions +9 or +8.5 against the Bills on Thanksgiving, they thought we were lunatics. So that's what we need to do. We need to find value where other people aren't seeing it. And I'm not trying to outthink myself. Like, for instance, I got to tell you guys something. I got to get this off my chest. Man, I'm tempted by the Bears +3.5, boys. I'm tempted. And that's obviously an extreme example of what I'm talking about. But I am tempted by that, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, no one go do that. But I am tempted because I think there's some value there, as crazy as it sounds. Gabe Hemmer, Laporta was easy work for us. Survived the week 4, Lawson. I've got 3 picks remaining of the 35 total I'm up against. It was a 3-pick max buy-in. 10 of the 35 used San Fran prior. So I'm going San Fran, and hopefully those 10 people can't say that on YouTube. Seems like a tricky week. I'd love to use the Chargers against my Raiders, but I don't trust that damn coach. Only way I'd pivot to the Chargers is if Jimmy G is out from that concussion. Yeah, Gabe, I agree with you. I got to tell you, one of my dilemmas today was just trying to figure out, am I going to bet the Chargers -5? That was one of my dilemmas today because, like you said, Brandon Staley is a goddamn idiot. He tried to give the game last week to the Vikings. I don't know if any of you guys watched that, but he was literally trying to give the game to my Vikings. I don't know what the guy's fucking doing. And then I know some of you guys got down in the dumps a few weeks back because the Chargers didn't cover against the Titans. Listen, man, Brandon Staley is a factor, and when you're betting real money, he's just not someone I want to ride with. Like, I wouldn't want to go to a fight with him. I wouldn't want to go to a bar with him. Hell, I wouldn't want to play racquetball with him. He's just one of those guys. He just has that, low energy, like that small dick energy, for lack of a better phrase. And I just don't get confidence from him. He's turning in a circle, and he is crumbling before our very eyes. So, listen, if you lost on that Titans-Chargers game, listen, man, they should have won it, and the guy wouldn't throw in the end zone. It was ridiculous. Anyways, that was a long time ago. I've been thinking about that all day. I just don't know if I can get on that man's. I don't want him responsible for my weekend. Give me Mike McDaniel. Give me Dan Campbell for responsibility. And then if you go down swinging, at least you went down with a fight. You just didn't sit in the corner in the fetal getting pounded while someone grabs your hair. Zamora, thank you for the super chat, my man. Zamora 6090. Does Denzel Ward follow wide receiver one or only plays one side? So far, he's only played one side. But it could be different this week. Browns fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've watched every single Browns snap on defense this year. He tends to stay on his side. When you're watching TV, he's normally on that left side. Just think of you watching TV and then on the left. But that's where we've seen Zay Flowers line up a lot. I assume that's where your question is rolling to, Zamora. I do wonder, though. I do wonder, should the Browns just put Ward on Zay Flowers? Because Mark Andrews doesn't look healthy for the Ravens. I don't know if you guys have given me too much, have seen him too much, but Mark Andrews hasn't looked his normal self. So if you can shut down Zay Flowers, I'm not seeing like Duvernay or any of these other guys coming in to do something. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's get to Patreon question. MAC, I've been watching for a year now and signed up 2 weeks ago on Patreon. Thank you. I appreciate it. I live in San Fran, so I don't have a place to do my thing legitimately, and I wish you could help with that. I can, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to just write it. There's better ones than this, but this will lead you down the rabbit hole of where you need to go. Mellow Camper, love the show, brother. You do a great job. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. I love getting on here and talking with you guys, man. I mean, Friday is normally my favorite show of the week. Okay, John's prop play hit again. He's going nuts on these. Well done, mate. Yeah, Dicko, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Dom Parrish. The Jags Falcons, in my opinion, reeks of push. With that in mind, would you buy the hook or go with the total? Try not to get pushed around. Okay. Well, but Don, so you want to take the Falcons plus 3.5? Yeah, man. Okay. I do think this is going to be a close game. But Don, can I ask you a question, man? Like, I know everyone hates a push, and we took a push when we backed the Bengals on Monday night against the Rams. Like, listen, I get it. It's frustrating. It's a punch in the gut, especially if it's a backdoor push like we suffered on Monday night. But I don't think a push is necessarily the worst thing in the world. Like, I know I'm probably in the minority. I mean, doesn't that kind of say you're right on? I mean, so if you're going Jacksonville and you want to bring it down to 2.5, I like it. I wouldn't argue with you. But then again, I don't know if I would give up the value because some of your guys' books, like suck, man. Like, seriously, like for instance, to buy 0.5 point, it goes from like -110 to -150. Like, so like, listen, I use Pinnacle. So because I'm out of the United States, it's just, yeah, man, that's my answer, man. I don't got a clear answer for you because I've been seeing you guys get screwed on that, and they shouldn't, man, because betting's hard already. And what's up, Jay Sapp? What's up, Von Smith? I'll answer Von Smith's question. I'm putting in a 3-leg money line, taking Houston, ballsy, Miami, and Tennessee. Am I crazy or am I on point? Thank you, my guy. I'm a little bit nervous about Tennessee. I'm a little bit nervous. Is there any way we could replace that Tennessee game? Because either way with a parlay, man, you are gambling. I wouldn't even call it a bet. I would call it gambling. So is there any way we could replace Tennessee? I know it's good value. I know it. I know it's going to multiply it a lot. But is there any way we could get a safer option in at 3, which would pay out good, and you wouldn't have to, what's the word, up your bet? Tennessee as a teaser option is quite interesting. I do think Houston wins. I'm not backing down from it. I do think that Steelers game, I do think all the bettors are going to be on the Steelers. I haven't looked at the numbers. Someone can someone go look that shit up for me? But I think big bets are going to be on the Steelers, and I won't mind fading that. Just replace it with another team. Like, I think there's some good value. Listen, I think the Titans bounce back, and Burrow and that Bengals offense are extremely limited, and Burrow can't really move well. So Jeff Simmons, D'Amico Autry with that bull rush in the interior, I think is more dangerous than an edge rush. So, like, I see where you're going with it. It's just this Titans offensive line. It's been the worst offensive line in the fucking league. I said that preseason, and have you guys seen anything that has proven me wrong? I don't know. Maybe the Bears have been worse, but at least the Bears have an excuse. 2 good players are on the injury report. Okay. Yeah, man, we know Zach Wilson is trash, unfortunately. Okay, here we go. Thank you, off the Heezy. I subbed. I remember hot sauce when he used to boom. That's what made me think of when I saw your name. Yeah, Mike, Bears 4-13, and I can't disagree. And I don't know what time you started watching. It's just I do think the Bears have a response, although I never watched more struggle session press conferences than the Bears this week. And Justin Fields is like saying shit like, I'm starting to appreciate the little things in life. I'm happy I can wake up and breathe. It's getting bad there, but I don't think the Bears are quite this bad. I'm not going to say like, oh, they're not 32 out of 32, because that would be me like closing my eyes. I think a lot of people taking that hook with the Broncos is dangerous. I think it's dangerous, man. Okay, here we go. Chris Diaz. John, I'm going to Vegas this weekend. Who do you got, Canelo or Charlo? I'm going Canelo. Especially if it goes into later rounds. Like, I just think Canelo is an absolute beast, and he knows how to score points. So I'm going Canelo, but I am not a boxing expert by any means. I'm just a fan. Ben John, what else do you got for Sunday on prop bets? So far, I've gone Joshua Palmer over 43.5, over 45.5 on some books. Still thinking about the others. I will comment on Patreon if I see another one, but that's the one I'm rolling with. I like that one. I think the Chargers are going to throw it fucking 50 times, and I think we're going to see him make plays. Jared Holly, what's up, Jared? Hey, bro, solid start to the season. I'm loving it. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Cowboys after last week's loss to the Cardinals. Is the Trayvon Diggs injury impacting this team, or can they still win the NFC? And who you got representing the NFC this year? I am sticking with the Cowboys. I am going to stick with the 49ers, but firstly, I am nervous about the Trayvon Diggs injury. But I do think the Cowboys made some moves to shore up, like when they brought in Stephon Gilmore during free agency. So I still think this Cowboys unit is going to be a top 5 unit. I'm not seeing anything that changes my mind about it. Really, the only concern I have about the Dallas Cowboys is situational football and the red zone. Listen, teams have bad days in the red zone. It happens. We've seen Pat Mahomes have bad days in the red zone. We've seen Josh Allen have bad days. But I am a little bit worried about just Tony Pollard. I feel like they need to get a Thunder in there instead of just only Lightning in Pollard, if you understand what I'm saying. But I do think the Cowboys are legitimate contenders, and I don't think the gap between the Eagles and Cowboys is as big as people saying. So to wrap it up, they got a top 5 defense, and they got a CD Lamb is playing at such a high level, and I'm waiting for Brandon Cooks to go off. I think both of those things will continue to happen. I am just worried about Mike McCarthy, the play calling, the flow and rhythm of the offense. But I do expect Dak to be more careful with the football this year, and he simply needs to be. So I completely get it. And listen, I think the Cowboys are right about equal with the Eagles now. Like, I know I'm going to look like an idiot right now because, you know, the Cowboys just lost to the Cardinals. I'm not having like breakdowns or hot flashes over, you know, one game, although it was ugly. Okay, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Brandon Peralta with the super chat. Thank you, Brandon. What's up, Big Al? Me and you had high hopes for the Bears in the beginning of the season, but I think this week they will pull it together. Call me crazy. I'm not trying to act like I'm the smartest guy in the room, like I'm some sort of trying to outthink everyone, but I can't disagree. JSAP mentioned something to me earlier in the week. I don't know if he's still in the chat. That over is calling people's names, by the way. And if we remember when the Bears were playing competent football last year, for instance, when they played the Lions like week 9, week 10, week 11, it went over in just the last quarter and a half. I mean, that's this Bears offense. They need to get going. I mean, it can't be this fucking bad. Eventually, they have to come out swinging. I mean, when your back's up against the wall, like NFL players have a lot of pride. And you do just think you could see some sort of response. But I've been shocked about this Bears defense probably more than the offense, to be honest with you. And I know they've had some injuries, 2 big injuries on the O-line, but this is the fucking NFL, man. There's no excuses. They've had some injuries in the secondary. I thought the secondary would be decent this year. I don't know what's going on. And you had Tremaine Edmonds and you had Edwards at linebacker. You think that elevates. Like, you think those 2 players would elevate a unit without any star power. But it hasn't. But this Broncos team is obviously bad, and the Bears got an opportunity. I mean, Eberflus just has to get these guys ready. And to be honest, they just simply haven't been ready. And, man, it is crazy, man. It is crazy. Okay. Next Patreon question. Gabe Hammer, I went heavy on Philly, San Fran, KC money line at minus 146. Can't disagree. I can't disagree, man. It's just, you got 3 chances for something crazy to happen. I am curious to see, just to respond to that, I am curious to see what type of response from the Jets. Because outside of the Bears, we haven't seen any meltdowns or anything like the Jets. Like, Jets had so many chances to win that game against the Patriots. That was just one of the most forgettable performances I've seen from a quarterback in my entire life. I mean, I was told Zach Wilson, and I knew Zach Wilson obviously saw it. He looked like that in the game last year. It's just, I want to see what that Jets defense does and respond. Yeah, at least you agree with me, man. People are looking at me like I need to be in a psychiatric hospital about the Bears. But yeah, bud. Appreciate the super chat again. Nicholas Vincent. Hey, Lawson, do you still think the Chargers win this week? Best gambling show on the internet. Nick, I do. But my main issue today was deciding whether to bet them, because I don't think 5's an awful lot. Is Jimmy G going to play? Are we going to get a serving of Brian Hoyer? Are the Raiders going to be able to cover anyone? I mean, Kenny Pickett looked like a top 5 quarterback against the Raiders, and we know that Steelers offense is absolutely incompetence personified. It's just the only question with the Chargers is Brandon Staley. But I truly believe the Chargers will win the game, and I think they have too much firepower. Max Crosby banged up. It seems like all the Raiders defensive linemen are banged up, and Herbert's playing the best he's ever played in his career these last 3 weeks. I have to say it. And he played miraculous against my Vikings. That's not saying a lot because the Vikings can't cover anyone either. But I don't think that Mike Williams' injury is going to hurt the Chargers. I just think it's a matter of they will win, but will Brandon Staley give a team free possessions so we don't cover the -5? That's really what it comes down to. And you guys know, like, a lot of Raiders fans on here respect a lot of players in that Raiders locker room, but Josh McDaniels, they could have won that game on Sunday night if he knew how to manage the clock. I mean, that was puzzling too. We got 2 of the most puzzling coaches in the league going head to head. Okay, here we go. Jonathan Yim, money. Hi, John. I know you lost your survivor pick. Yeah. But can you still post your thoughts going forward? It would really help. Yes. Or you could just leave a comment. Give me a choice of 3 you're thinking about. Yeah, man. This survivor league I was in ended after last week. So listen, man, if the Cowboys can't beat the Cardinals, then fuck it, bro. Juicy Purser, how do you feel about the Browns with Watson's shoulder injury? I still like them. I'm not backing down, and I believe he will play. Would it be smart to wait to noon to get the bet in? Yeah. The worrying part is this came up a little bit late in the week. It came up like late Wednesday, early Thursday, but he did throw some balls Friday at practice, and then he just kind of got shut down. What does that mean? I think he's going to play. I just don't think he's going to want to throw before the game. They're going to Toradol it up. Toradol will be in action. Deshaun Watson's going to play, man. He's coming off his first great game with the Browns. He better be out there, and he better be ready to go. I don't think he's going to miss this game, man. Don't think so. USO Ross, can you give me a 3-team money line parlay? Okay, I got one for you. Let me go 49ers. I'm going to take the easy way out. Let me go Fins to give you a little bit of a boost there. Let me go. And then the third team, let me go Eagles. Let me go Eagles there. So I gave you a little bit of a boost with Miami. I believe they win that game. Ray Rouse. Hey, John, I have noticed you as well as other good cappers avoid betting the Thursday night DeGen special game. Was wondering the rationale behind laying off Thursdays. I have good success betting fundamentals and talent to cover on Thursday consistently. Let's get this damn money. Well, I was hoping you guys would do it. I mean, this kind of is a principled stand from me. I mean, because, they talk about player safety, and then they put Thursday night games, a team flying halfway across the country after they played 72 hours before. Okay. So when I look at Thursday night, firstly, injuries are always a concern. I mean, we even saw Detroit hold players out of that Falcons game to prepare for this Thursday night. But normally teams don't do that. Normally teams will look at Thursday night as they don't want to risk injuries. And I understand why. Also, the games are really, really slow. If you noticed when you watch Thursday night football, the games normally lack a rhythm. the first half normally goes under. The teams just aren't firing at all cylinders. So instead of betting this team's B versus their B minus game, we're betting a D plus game against a C minus game, a C minus performance. And I feel like that causes volatility, and we're in something with high volatility already, and I'm trying to limit it. But yeah, man, it did hurt me a little bit, when I start the Tuesday video saying Lions are a borderline money pick. If this was Sunday, I would be betting it. It hurts, but I was more than happy to see you guys betting. I at least got a little bit of happiness off of that on Patreon last night. So not going to complain, and I probably won't change what I'm doing on that. I mean, there will be an occasion, but I was kind of excited about this week anyways. I feel like we got some meat to eat on Sunday. So I just wish they wouldn't put all the games Sunday at 1 o'clock. It's like fucking too much pressure for my heart to take. Like I can't even calm down. I just pace around the whole damn time. Brandon Peralta with the super chat. I appreciate it, my man. These are our weeks to kill. Lawson's weeks 4 through 10, feeling it this week. Money, money, money. Like the Titans and your Vikings this week too. Yeah, hopefully my Vikings respond. I mean, initial reaction Tuesday video, -3.5 money. Eventually they got to break out. Eventually they got to do something. So that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. Okay. And I appreciate it, man. And I feel like I'm seeing the board pretty well right now. It's just you do worry about some of these teams just not showing up. And that is always a concern. But I think we're finding some consistency. This is the most excited I've been for a week from a footballing perspective. Like this Bills-Dolphins game is something I'm excited about. Okay, here we go. And thanks for the question, Ray. Always good to see you. This is from Derek. Hey, bro, hope you're having a great week. What are your thoughts on this 7-point teaser? Any game you would take off? Philly -2, 49ers -7, Chargers +2, KC -1.5. Actually, no. I would just take, if I had to take one off of that, it would be the 49ers based on math. But honestly, I wouldn't take anything off of that. I would not. That's the first one you've given me in my life that I feel completely comfortable with all four. The math with the 49ers, because you're laying out there with a 7. If they win by a touchdown, your shit gets bounced out. So it's more about math, why I would take out the 49ers, but I think they win the game by 10 points. 14, we'll see. What about this 4-game money line parlay? Anything you take off and replace with another game or leave it be? Jags, Browns, Broncos, Mini. Okay. I do like you getting risky on the Jags and Cleveland. Denver, I understand it. I think people are going to be all over them, money line and the spread. Mini, keep Mini, keep Cleveland, keep the Jags. I would add Cowboys. I would add Cowboys as money line. I know that's not going to pay good, but you already got stuff working it. If you don't like that, let's gamble, man, and go Dolphins. Let's gamble, man. Charles Kaiser, Browns at -1, still like it. I do. A little bit concerned with this late line movement because, as you know, when I picked the game, it was moving away from us. Obviously, people were excited about it. And then we had this Deshaun Watson situation today. I think he's playing. But if you haven't put in the bet yet, please just hold tight into noon Eastern. Normally we avoid this, but it did happen one time last year. And it happened 2 years ago on Christmas with the whole Colts team getting the disease. But we still covered that game at Arizona. That was funny. Okay, here we go. Prestige, just want to add player props, Chargers. Okay, Palmer, you agree with me there. With Mike Williams out, I saw an interview today with Brandon Staley that Q Johnson had a good week in practice. I've seen his yardage as low as 20 yards. I agree. I agree. Joshua Palmer is who I'm targeting. He actually looks pretty good these last 2 years. And Herbert's going to throw it 40, 45 times like he did last week. So there's going to be plenty of chances to eat. My opinion, Watson has a shoulder injury. It kind of came up late in the week. We didn't really hear anything about it early in the week, certainly not Monday and Tuesday. But he did throw in practice on Friday. He threw a little bit in on Wednesday. He didn't have a full practice Friday, but he went out there. He took some reps. So it's not like he hasn't taken any reps like a Carr situation. I think Carr's going to be out. It's not the same injury. It's not like the AC joint like Carr has. So I believe it's something he can play with. And I think he will play. Like, I don't think he's letting himself miss that damn game. Ryan, 731. Teaser parlay. Vikings -2.5 and Bears +7.5. Been having a lot of success with the 2-team teaser parlays. Yeah, man. I hit 2 last week. What's your thoughts on this one? Let's get this money. Well, from a value perspective, my friend, you don't want to cross 0. For instance, Vikings are -4. You're bringing Okay, you're not. My bad. Excuse me. Okay, you're going Vikings -2.5 and Bears +7.5. I like that, Ryan. I could see the Bears losing by a touchdown, but I can't see them losing by any more. And I think that Broncos defense is terrible. Like, listen, was the 70 a bit dramatic, a bit of an admiration? Yes, but I think Fields will do something this week. So I like that one. I don't think that's going to be the direction I go on Patreon with the teaser this week, but I liked what you're thinking. Barkley, hey bro, Lions were a great pick to start the week. I like the Seahawks, Giants under 47.5. What you think? I kind of like the over, but I would lay off of it. But I like the over. I don't have much evidence. Like, here's my evidence for liking over. I don't think the Giants will run the ball well. Saquon, he's pretty much out. If he plays, I think he's going to be extremely limited. I really think Daboll will be able to move the ball consistently. Will that equal a lot of points? Well, that's the big question. On the other side, I'm really worried about this Giant secondary. Like, the stuff with Wink Martindale blitzing every fucking play and playing man-to-man every play last year. Yeah, it was cute. Yeah, it worked. It helped knock my Vikings out of the playoffs. But is it really sustainable with the level of corners they have? I mean, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Smith and Jigba, 2 pretty good tight ends. And I have a feeling Geno can get really, really hot in this game. That's why I worry about it. Like, for me, when I was picking this game, I picked like a 27-24 game for the Seahawks. But if it's 27-20, Seahawks win or Giants win the other way, you're good, man. It's just, yeah, man, it wasn't the over-under I liked the most this week. Thank you for the question, Barkley. Very good question. God damn it, Patreon. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's get to, okay, have I missed a question? I don't think I have. This is from Axe Lost Zombie. Hey, John, do you like the Pats +13? Keep up with the great picks, man. I do. And I'm not sure why I'm liking the Patriots so much this week. Like, I think the Cowboys are going to come out. I think they're going to play physical. But we found last week maybe the only weakness with the Cowboys is if you get physical, if you get nasty with them. And that's one thing this Patriots team can do. And I'm not taking a lot from that Patriots-Jets game, but they did show a lot of smarts, the way they played that game, the way they wouldn't turn the ball over, no matter how aggressive the Jets defense got. I think the Patriots will have an opportunity to run the ball against the Cowboys. It seems like the only way to attack this Cowboys defense is, put a fucking fullback in, put a tight end in, and you got to run ISO right at Micah Parsons. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, that really seems like the only way to attack them. The only weakness in this Cowboys defense, in my opinion, is the linebacking core. I don't think I'm wrong. Like, I do think they add another linebacker, get another veteran linebacker in that room like the Ravens did with Kyle Van Noy this week. I do think we're going to see something like that. So the Patriots feel most comfortable when they're running the ball. They don't like throwing it deep. They don't like taking chances with Matt Jones. So that is one advantage the Patriots have in this game, and I think they're going to utilize it. And I think the Patriots defense, they're banged up in the secondary. Now, that's an issue. They're banged up in the secondary. And I'm not a Bill Belichick hoodie worshiper like a lot of people are. But last week, the Cowboys had big fucking problems in the red zone. One thing we trust the hoodie Bill Belichick to do is to have his defense prepared for situational football. Like, I'm not saying this Patriots defense is damn good or anything like that. I think when they get in the red zone, I think the Cowboys will kick more field goals and they score touchdowns, and that's a recipe for a cover. So, yeah, I like it. I think it's a tease option. I also wouldn't smug my nose if it's a bet advantage. And I do kind of agree with Lauren. Like, I think the Patriots have a coaching advantage there. Like, because I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I am a little bit concerned about Mike McCarthy calling plays. Like, I know the honeymoon period of the first 2 weeks was fun and stuff, but it wasn't too fun last Sunday, right? Okay, here we go. Let's see. Prestige, $10 super chat. I appreciate it, Prestige. Joe Lawson, we need an elite coaching group. We're throwing 5K, 20K weekly. We need your analysis. Yeah, send me a message on Patreon. I'm thinking about doing something like that. And man, I got to tell you, I actually do believe those numbers because I don't know if you've been watching, but, when we pick a game, it's just, for instance, like Vikings were a money pick this week, starts at 3.5 up to 4.5. What's another one? There was one last week that really pissed me off, that Raiders game, how, the spread completely changed. So I would not be surprised if people on Patreon are betting that much. I don't bet in that range a weekend. I bet in the 3 to 4K a range every single weekend. Prestige, yeah, just send me a message, man, because there is one thing I want to ride by you. It is week 4. I'm not trying to get too, what's the word, lambastic or too aggressive, but there is one game, like, I want to just put my chips in the middle of the table and say, let's fucking go. Of course, don't do anything crazy, gamble responsibly, and all that good stuff. But yeah, man. So that's where I'm at. Okay, here we go. What's up, Campbell? Okay, just business. Dolphins money line, Bears +3. Okay, Dolphins money line, Bears +3.5, Seahawks +1. You like my 3-game parlay? I do. It's just there's going to be a lot of people talking you out of the Bears. but I think statistically that is a smart bet. With parlays, it's volatile because you could go 2-1, and we know how that goes. But I like it. I am curious to hear people's opinions about Monday Night Football, though. Because I got the Seahawks, but I am curious to see how you guys might think that'll go. I think that's an interesting game. Did you guys see the next two Thursday night games are next week? We got, I fucking posted it just like 12 hours ago. So next week we got no names against the Bears. Then the week after that, we get Chiefs Broncos. So hopefully that'll get people off from betting Thursday night, because I'm sure all of you guys are having a fun time with the Lions pick last night. Yeah, Mike likes the hog. I do, man. You do worry about like going overboard with a Giants regression, but it's mostly, man, it's just because I respect Dable. But outside of that, like, it's just think of it in your head, those three dogs at receiver for the Seahawks, and think about covering them man-to-man and not having good corners. Like, the Giants are literally taking rookie corners off the scrap heap and throwing them out there, putting full responsibility on their shoulders. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have examined that, but I don't think it's good coaching. I really don't. And I got to give the Giants credit. Like, I felt like their defense played a lot better than the score line in the 49ers game. They just had some dumb penalties, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It is enticing. It is. Okay, I got to go. I'll be right back. Leave questions on YouTube. We'll get guests on. I got to get a glass of water. I'll be right back. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe. What's up, Mike Zhang? I haven't seen you this whole year, bro. What's up, Brants? What's up, Dave? Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, let Campbell on. I listen. I'm gonna no comment on that. I love Campbell to death, though, but no comment on that. What's up, Alex? I saw you on Instagram the other day. You like Ravens money line, better quarterback? Oh, I don't know if I agree with that. Better coach, okay. looking for a bounce back win. I mean, if Deshaun Watson is hurt, as they said, I don't think he's hurt though. I think he's going to play. Like I think the shoulder is going to be somewhat limited, but I'm not concerned from it. I don't. I did you watch the Ravens game back against the Colts? Like, even I didn't think the Ravens looked all that good against the Texans week one. I really don't. Um, okay, here we go. Okay, let's get to. Let's see. Okay, here we go, yo. 1 second. But yeah, man, I'm not too excited about the Ravens this year. I gotta say, like it's just I gotta go preseason rankings. Like my preseason rankings going into this, I had Browns ahead of the Ravens. Like I'm not buying this Monken stuff. I'm not buying they're gonna spread the field more and it's gonna be like Lamar Jackson's college offense. I'm just not buying any of that. So that's where I'm at. Could be I could get a sock in my mouth. Could be completely slammed. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to that game. Browns beat a hurt Burrow Bengals and broken Titans offense. Yeah, but it didn't stop. Yeah, all of that looks obvious now. But I was on an island on both games. So, the Titans one looks easy to pick now, right? I mean, but it wasn't necessarily easy. And Lamar Jackson's fumbled the ball 6, 7, 8 times this year. Like, I'm not exaggerating. They got knocked around by the Colts. And really, the only bright spot of the whole team is Kyle Hamilton, and he probably will miss this game. And also, Zay Flowers has looked really good, man. Zay Flowers have looked really good. So that's where I'm at, man. Okay, here we go. Okay. Did I miss any Patreon questions? Firstly, just let me know. Okay, I'm gonna go reload that. Not good radio right now. My bad. Okay, here we go. Okay, Prestige. I run AI systems for betting. On the top two, my AI came up with Dolphins versus Buffalo Bills. The Dolphins have a strong offensive record so far, standing at an average of 550 yards per game. The Bills have a turnover differential of +4, which is stronger than the Dolphins' turnover performance. Betting lines, the spread is +3 for the Dolphins and -3 for the Bills. Given the offensive and defensive stats, the Dolphins might cover the spread. Let's see what you say. So pretty much, and then the analysis for the Browns Ravens is the spread should be -3 for the Browns. So I think judging by your AI program, you kind of have to bet that Browns game if you think there's a 2-point advantage. Boski, my favorite prop of the week was Joshua Palmer over Joshua Palmer over 43.5 receiving yards. That's my favorite. So if I see some other ones I really like, I'll post them on Patreon. It's just business. Is it crazy to want to bet the Pats +6.5 versus the Cowboys? No. I don't know if you were in here before, but I did break down the game. So firstly, let's give the Cowboys credit. That's a top 5 defense. They had a bad day against the Cardinals. Credit to Josh Dobbs, and this is the NFL. No one fucking tanks. I know teams, they'll trade players away, but everyone is good, and everyone's going to go out there and fucking fight. Firstly. So the only weakness I think the Cowboys defense has is against the run. Their linebackers aren't all that great. And what is Micah Parsons? What do those dogs in the front want to do? They want to get in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, and they want to rush the passer. They want to use their speed. And I don't think the Patriots are going to let them do that. I think the Patriots are going to run it, and I think the Patriots are going to run it, and they're going to use play action. Now, can the Patriots wide receivers get separation? No, not really, but Trayvon Diggs is out, and I think there is an alley where the Patriots can throw it. Look, is Hunter Henry going to miss this game? Either way, Gesicki's got some good matchups. Look at the safeties of the Cowboys. Look at the linebackers of the Cowboys. They play a lot of man-to-man. So I think the Patriots can exploit that avenue. On the other side of the ball, listen, this Cowboys offense is fucking explosive, man. And we know that. You know that. I know that. CeeDee Lamb is playing at a top 10 receiver quality, probably top 5 just based off the performances this year. But I am worried about the Cowboys in the red area. I am worried. I'm not sure if they're getting the proper coaching, and I'm not sure if they're missing Zeke Elliott. Now, I know Zeke Elliott isn't going to do a whole lot for the Cowboys right now, but what's the best way to score in the red zone, my friend? Run the fucking ball and try to use some play action, and then have good quarterback play. Those are the 3 keys, and they weren't able to push the Cardinals back. They just weren't. And Tony Pollard looks really, really good in the 20-20. But once you enter the red area, it just hasn't been all that good. So I feel like the advantage in this game is situational football for the Patriots. I think they play good special teams. They're going to be good in the red zone. And you guys know I'm not a Patriots lover. I'm not a Bill Belichick worshiper. But that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. Okay, so I think we exhaust the question. Mike, Lauren, I'll get you on next week. Lots of bets to get on Patreon tonight. Hit the like button, share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Oh, appreciate it, man. Just appreciate the sub. You don't need to send me any money. Just appreciate the sub, man. Share the videos with your friends. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Always nice chatting with you guys. Patreon users, bet should be up. Give me the 10:30 because I think we might have 2 teasers. So we need to see, and I need to read about the Deshaun Watson situation. Have a great night, everyone.